How's it going, everybody? So let's talk about Outlast 2. Alright, I had the pleasure of playing the game at E3 2016, and it was kind of funny because I sort of arrived. I was doing this on my second day at E3, and I sort of arrived kind of late, and I was kind of tired a little bit because I didn't get much sleep from the prior day. And it was the first game I played that morning, and I went over to the Xbox booth, and I'm like, alright, I'm like kind of barely awake. I'm like, okay, I'm going to play some Outlast 2. I really love the first game, I'm going to play this one. And I left the demo, like, I was completely, like, wide awake. Like, Outlast 2 had, like, so many jump scares, and was so just rich with, just really scary atmosphere. It's like, I pretty much entered the demo like this, like, and then I sort of left, like, just like wide awake, like my eyes were just like, whoa, that was like a really good demo. So Outlast 2 is pretty much like Outlast 1, just on like a much grander and scarier scale of things. All right, you play as some guy who's basically gone into so he's sort of investigating what happened to this town, and he basically crash lands there with his wife, and both him and his wife are journalists, and they're working together. And so the demo opens up, and you're sort of hearing this voiceover. It's kind of similar to the original Bioshock beginning, where you're sort of hearing this voiceover, and then all of a sudden you hear the helicopter go down, and it's going down, and it crashes, and then the title screen comes up, Outlast 2, and you basically, your wife is missing, you emerge from the wreckage, and you're trying to find out what happened to her. And you have this camera, of course, like the first game, that's sort of dynamic. You're able to look around like this and sort of, see in night vision and whatnot. And you basically make your way to this abandoned town that's like out like in the wilderness of things. And you quickly learn that things are not what they seem. This is not some ordinary town at all. You crash land here, and there's a bunch of, rotting bodies. The town seems empty almost, and you hear these weird noises. Now, one thing that's very apparent is how Outlast 2, or really the original Outlast, it had a supernatural element, right? But it wasn't really a focus. A lot of the game in Outlast 1 felt very real, like this could actually be, something that happened, right? Up until that very twist ending where things got a little bit more supernatural. In Outlast 2, it pretty much starts you off, and things are very supernatural from the beginning. And this is the main difference between Outlast 2 and Outlast 1, is Outlast 2 feels a lot more supernatural in that respect. Your daughter, you learn quickly that your daughter was sort of killed in some accident, and you're kind of going around, you're not really sure what happened to her. And all of a sudden you look down this well, and this weird tongue, it's like this long tongue, wraps around your neck and pulls you down under, and then you awake and you're in some school and things like that. So it's just sort of a taste of some of the crazy supernatural stuff that is going to come. And this is still very much Outlast. You still have your camera, you're still using your night vision to walk around, and it's still extremely scary and dark when you're walking around this town. Just because it's not in the close, confined quarters like the first game was in just a sane asylum, it's more open. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's more or less scary. It still retains that same sense of gorgeous, very fearful atmosphere that the first game had, and that's what's really important here. You have a lot more options this time around to sort of hide away from your enemies. You still can't attack them up front, so when you're spotted, your only option is to run. But there's this cool element in my demo where we got to basically sneak through the cornfields and things like that. And you had to use the cornfields, to your advantage in hiding and things of that nature. So enemies would come in, and you'd be sitting there sort of hiding, kind of ducking really low beneath the cornfields and making sure that they can't see with their light. And you could even go up and hide in barrels and things like that, and even go into like a pool of water and hide underwater, and you'd have to like hold your breath for a certain amount of time. So it's a lot more dynamic in terms of where you can hide from your enemies and whatnot, and that's really what I appreciate about the demo. I mean, there's a lot more jump scares here, and like I said, it's a lot more supernatural. Like for some reason you're in this this open field, you know, sort of town with a bunch of cornfields and small houses and stuff, and then next thing you know, you get pulled down by some monster into this well. You awake and you're in this school, and there's ghosts, you know, in the school. You're trying to, you know, kind of get out of there. The lockers are smacking and stuff like this, and it's kind of cool. Every single time you turn your camera, you see like ghosts kind of go past you, so you know that you're quickly not alone here. And once you make your way out of the school, you're basically back in that reality and things like that. So it's really interesting to see, you know, sort of what happened here. And it's a different type of style of horror. Again, much more focused on the supernatural elements. But at the same time, it still has those realistic elements like it did in the first game and whatnot. So my demo was only about 10 to 15 minutes long. It wasn't really a long demo, to be honest with you guys, but it was a lot of fun and it woke me up completely. And at the very end of the demo, you make your way. You pretty much slide down and you trip down this this ledge, and your character uses glasses. So quickly he grabs his glasses, he grabs his camera. Next thing you know, there's this creature. Something that's like just standing and looking down upon you, and he's like dressed in robes, and he has this what do you call that thing? It's like it's a long sharp edge that's kind of hewed like this. I think they're called a scythe or something weird like that. And you're about to get up. He kicks you down. He takes his weapon, pretty much chops you like this and chops you directly in the balls. Your character's looking down. Your balls literally get chopped off at the end of the demo, and he basically pretty much just rips you open like this. And that's how the demo ended for me. The demo ended with me getting my balls chopped off. That was the most significant part of this demo of me playing this game. So, in respect to everything, Outlast 2 is very much Outlast 1 on a much grander scale. I'm very much looking forward to it because Outlast 1 had a really interesting story to go along with it, and it was scary. It was really, Outlast 1 was really the game that took the horror genre and propelled it up. It really started this new way of horror games where it's not about you fighting the enemy, it's about you basically playing hide and seek. And it works extremely well. Outlast 1 was one of the most scary games I played in my life, one of the best horror games, one of my personal favorite horror games that I've ever played. And Outlast 2 just takes that element and puts it on a much grander scale with a lot more options to hide and a lot more dangers present. So really, if Outlast 2 can deliver a solid narrative like the first one did and have still the scary locations like the first one did, again, the first game took place in an insane asylum. You were just basically exploring this insane asylum, and so if Outlast 2 can basically take that but really make it interesting and still retain that scariness, maybe not necessarily in the close quarters of an asylum, but out in the open of these fields and this town, it could be very interesting. So I'm actually hoping that Outlast 2 turns out to be fantastic. I cannot wait to play the game personally. I love the first one, and cannot wait to get my hands on the sequel. It's going to be freaking awesome. From what I played, it still plays amazing. I was playing on the Xbox One. It was 1080p, 30 frames, or 60 frames per second, excuse me. So still that same buttery, responsive controls like the first one did. It's going to be freaking amazing, I hope, and I really liked what I played at E3 2016. So, alright, Outlast 2, huge thumbs up. That is definitely a game you can look forward to playing, and handled very nicely, and just cannot wait for it to come out. Should be awesome, alright? I will talk with you guys later. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.